most marine protected areas are not, in fact, protected. And this is threatening food security of surrounding communities. Now, delegates gathered in Cape Town to discuss how to finance the securing of these areas. WildTrust is spearheading the restoration of 2 of the country's 41 marine protected areas, uThukela and Isimangaliso on the east coast. For more on this, we are joined by Nonhle Mngadi, who is WildTrust Project Manager. Very good morning to you, Nonhle. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, just how severe is the situation in terms of the lack of protection for some of these areas?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. So we wouldn't be able really to put, a measure to that, but we'll be understanding that with the drive of 30 by 30, where we are giving out there that we'll be protecting 30% of the ocean, but with the lack of financial capacity, then that protection might be jeopardized. So that's where we're standing now and trying to come up with financial solution to ensure that MPA are better managed or effectively managed so that they don't become paper MPAs.
Perhaps I'm asking a very obvious question here when I ask, how did we even get to this particular position where, for example, a wildlife trust needs to intervene and get into a point where they're now asking for even financial assistance to ensure that there's protection of marine life? How did we get here?
So without maybe not wanting to view it in a negative form, we could also view it as a good case study where we are finding government and the NGO coming in collaboration to work together to ensure the protection and the conservation of the ocean. So I would also just want to view it at that angle. Yes, the reality is that the government is, meant to be the spear of driving and ensuring the protection. But this also gives a good opportunity for the NGO and the government to work together as this is happening, because we don't, also in the drive of the project, we don't work alone. We ensure that we partner with the government and different, institutes to work together in collaboration to ensure the protection.
Now, of course, it becomes a bit of a difficult mission, if I were to call it that, when you have oil companies that are wanting to essentially, for lack of a better word, invade the ocean space. They're making life a bit difficult for not only NGOs such as Wildlife Trust, but as well as marine experts and people that are looking to not necessarily forcefully, but to essentially spearhead the protection of marine life. When you've got oil companies that are pushing ahead with whatever missions they have, it does make your guys' efforts a little difficult, doesn't it?
It does, but I'm going to again point out how in the situation in one of the projects that Wild Ocean is doing, the one that I'm currently managing at uThukela. Now, what becomes interesting is that the project was able to donate, cars, was able to donate boats, which would allow Ezemvelo, KZN Wildlife, which is the provincial organization, to be able to monitor, to be able to now to ensure that enforcement is being done, because with the lack of these resources, they are unable to ensure. So, in paper, the protection of marine protected area is there, but with lack of equipment, it can lead to a situation where that is not done. So in this instant, where now our project is able to donate those, then it allows for work to be progressive and effective. So we are hoping that these collaboration will bring such cases, positive cases, where we are seeing, a movement to more effective management and conservation of the ocean.
Nonhle, I actually have to appreciate the insistence on looking at it from a positive point of view from yourself and wildlife, especially with this particular project that you're managing, uThukela. Perhaps let's then just look at it from who can help and what they can do. Let's start with government. What becomes government's role in this particular effort that you guys are championing?
So the realization is that there's a need for government to work together. There are many, you'll find in the conservation space of the ocean, there are multiple governments that are needed. So there's a need to start a forum. In fact, one of the objectives of our project is to start a forum where we bring all affected government stakeholders in the room, so that effort that is done, can be impactful instead of working in, the different areas that, they are working. So that's one of the big things that needs to come. And then also it's just the support of the civil citizen. Everyone benefits from, the conserving the ocean. So it's important to collaborate, be it you coming in the awareness part of it, be it you are being practical. There's always initiatives around picking up plastic in the ocean, that's really affecting the ocean. It's NGOs also reaching out and working with the government, also the government allowing a space where NGOs can be able to interact with them, and work towards the mandate of conserving the ocean. It's just not losing the picture of we are trying to conserve nature that we need. Any South African for that matter, anyone in the world for that matter, need to be protected so that we are able to be sustainable and, prevent such things as climate change and flooding, in particular in KwaZulu-Natal, that is experiencing. So there's a need for everyone to come together and in any way contribute towards, ensuring conservation is being done.